Hey everyone, welcome to the Comfy English Podcast. I'm Jake.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are here to pull back the curtain on the real, messy, everyday language you actually need to navigate the world.
On this show, we don't just read out of a textbook. We dive into global mindsets, unpack cultural differences, and explore the subtle ideas and expressions that take your English from intermediate to totally natural.
So, Sarah, have you ever really looked at this whole concept of a dream job? It is something people talk about constantly, especially when they are obsessing over finding their true passion in life.
Oh, all the time. But that intense drive, that passion, which society tells us we absolutely must follow, puts a massive amount of pressure on people, doesn't it?
Way too much pressure. We are fed this idea that if you love your work, you will never work a day in your life. But honestly, I think that is a total myth. We need to be way more realistic about the working world.
Right, because being realistic, just looking at the practical facts of life, means admitting that every career has its dark days. No job is perfect.
Even the coolest jobs have tasks that are incredibly tedious. You know, those boring, repetitive duties that just drag on and completely drain your energy.
Oh, those tedious moments, which we all have to deal with eventually, are just unavoidable. Routine tasks, the kind of work that makes you want to stare at the wall, are just part of the package.
But see, our expectation is usually the real problem. We enter the workforce with this belief, which is almost always unrealistic, that our jobs will keep us constantly thrilled.
So true. That expectation, that mental picture of how perfect things should be, just sets us up for a rough reality check.
Exactly. A major reality check. If you expect absolute perfection, you are going to burn out. At some point, you just have to learn to compromise.
When you say compromise, you mean finding a middle ground, right? Accepting that you won't get everything you want, but finding a balance that actually works.
Yes! You might not love every little detail of your day, but you can still get a deep sense of fulfillment from the bigger picture.
Fulfillment, yes. That genuine feeling of satisfaction when you feel like your time was actually well spent. That is what matters, not some flawless dream career.
Fulfillment, which lasts way longer than temporary excitement, comes from doing a good job and being respected. But let's be real. At the end of the day, we all have to bring home the bacon.
Bring home the bacon. I love that American spin on it. Making enough money to pay the bills, put food on the table, and support your life, right?
You got it. Making a living and surviving. What do you say on your side of the pond?
Well, we usually say you need to earn your crust. It is the exact same concept, really. Just earning the money you need to buy your basic daily bread and get by.
Earn your crust. I like that. It keeps things grounded. A job, which is ultimately just a mechanism to make money, doesn't need to define who you are as a person.
It really doesn't. This cultural obsession with aligning your career with your inner passion makes people feel like absolute failures if they just have a normal, stable job.
And that is just wrong. Someone who works a standard 9-to-5 job, which might not be their ultimate dream, can still live an incredibly meaningful life after they clock out.
Precisely. People who can separate their identity from their employment find it much easier to tolerate the parts of the day that are undeniably tedious.
Totally. If a boring task is just a way to earn your crust... Wait, did I use that right?
Spot on, Jake. Yes, if it is just a way to earn a living, it loses its power to make you miserable.
Nice. So if it is just a tool to bring home the bacon, it doesn't crush your spirit. You do the work, collect the paycheck, and find your true fulfillment elsewhere. Like with hobbies or family.
Exactly. This modern expectation that a career must provide total emotional and spiritual satisfaction It is a very heavy burden for anyone to carry.
It is an exhausting burden. Social media, which constantly show people traveling the world and pretending they love every second of their work, makes this crazy standard look normal.
Oh, social media is the worst for that. It completely distorts what is realistic. It makes young professionals think they shouldn't ever have to compromise.
But compromise is literally the definition of growing up. A person who refuses to compromise on their career goals might end up missing out on some fantastic opportunities.
They really do. We should be telling students that a job which pays the bills and gives you actual free time is a massive win.
Yes! A job that treats you well, even if it isn't what you dreamed of as a kid, is incredibly valuable. It gives you the freedom to pursue your passion on your own terms.
Your passion, which could be anything from painting to cooking or playing music, does not have to be the exact same thing that generates your monthly income.
Man, that takes so much weight off your shoulders. When I finally realised my work was just a tool to fund my actual life, everything changed. The tedious days didn't really bother me anymore.
It is incredibly liberating, isn't it? Once you adjust that initial expectation, you actually start to notice the smaller, quieter successes around the office.
Right, like having great co-workers or finishing a tough project on time. That provides a much more realistic kind of satisfaction.
Absolutely. It is about finding fulfillment in the actual process of working hard, rather than waiting around for some magical, perfect role to appear.
And let's be honest, even the most exciting jobs become a routine after a while. A professional athlete or a famous musician still has to do things that are repetitive and tedious.
Yes, their schedules, which are often incredibly grueling, involve hours of basic practice and administrative nonsense. They have to compromise on their personal time constantly.
Exactly. They still have to put in the boring hours just to earn their crust, or bring home the bacon, depending on where you live.
Haha, precisely. No matter what you do, you have to work to survive. The myth of the dream job just makes people feel constantly restless.
That restlessness is the real trap. Employees who are always looking over their shoulder for the next best thing never actually settle down and get good at what they are doing right now.
And then they miss out on the fulfillment that comes from truly mastering a skill over a long period of time.
So, to wrap this up, the big takeaway here is to shift our expectation. Look for a job that aligns with your values, treats you with respect, and allows you to live well.
Be realistic, accept the necessary compromise, and do not expect every single moment of your day to be filled with intense passion.
There is absolutely no shame in working a job just to bring home the bacon.
None at all. As long as you can earn your crust and find joy in your life, you are doing just fine.